Let's take a look at Bob and the correct way of interviewing.
Lord, please come in. I'm Amanda Cuccinati.
Notice Bob is wearing a conservative tie. He's also sporting a portfolio, and he shook hands using 2 humps.
Robert Bullard, how are
Nice
you?
to meet you. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Bullard, we have other openings in other departments. I was wondering if you had a copy of your resume that I could pass on as well.
Notice this time Bob has a copy of his resume available.
Thank you. So, Mr. Bullard, could you describe your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness would be that I'm very detail orientated. Now, that might not be a weakness, but in the past I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. I guess detail orientated can turn into perfectionist. I wanted to make sure that every step of the way was perfect, and when it wasn't, I would get quite upset. But through experience that I've had through Rowan After Hours and through the CAP Center and through other experiences at Rowan, I've learned that sometimes not every step of the way has to be perfect to reach the end goal and have it be an excellent job. Sometimes you just have to roll with the punches. So if you're in a fast field, and you have to be flexible to change. When you're flexible to that change, you realize that although not every step of the way might have gone perfectly, you'll see that the end result is excellent still.
Okay, thank you. If I had spoken to your supervisor, what would you think 3 words he would use to describe you and why?
3 words that a supervisor would describe me as. The first one would be diligent. I'm a very hard worker, and I know that's a cliche, but when I put my mind to something and I put my full faculty to something, I work to the best of my ability. Another one would be flexible. And I talked about that in my last weakness, but now I've become very flexible to change. In higher education, you have to be open to things changing very quickly and maybe not to your liking. Something might come down where this is how it has to be, fix it now. And you have to be flexible to change, because if you're not and you're super rigid, you'll never get anything accomplished. And the last one is loyal. When I put my mind to something, I'm going to be there for you. And that loyal to me includes being on time, being punctual, doing all the work that's necessary, being there when you need me. Through my vast experience, if you ask my supervisors, they would say I'm loyal because I had 4 different jobs on campus as a graduate student. I never missed a day. I never missed an assignment. I never missed an opportunity to help them out to do something better for our group on campus, or the campus as a whole.
Great. What are your short and long-term goals?
My short-term goal obviously would be to hopefully get an opportunity to work with your company. Long-term goals, hopefully I would like to see myself in a management position in the next 5 years in your company, hopefully pursuing a further education, possibly an MBA or my doctorate, which I think that would bring a great strength to your company, because through more knowledge we become a better company, we become a more informed company, and when we do that, we put the best product out there. And hopefully through getting this opportunity, I can really work hard to make this company a better asset and make my better self an asset for this company.
Great. What are your leadership and motivation styles?
What is my leadership style? Well, I like to lead by example. I like to let people see that I'm working hard and I'm doing the right thing, so they should be the right thing. However, when you're a leader, you have to be a facilitator. You cannot do work for people. So there's no point in saying, I'm a diligent worker, so I'm going to make sure everyone else's work gets done. You have to, as a leader, the purpose for a leader, in my opinion, is you putting the people in the right position to succeed. So it means if you did all your homework and you made sure they did all their homework, so when that moment or that opportunity for them to succeed happens, they're right there. Being a leader doesn't include yelling, screaming. It includes motivating. You have to be a motivator. And the 2 most important things about my leadership style and my motivation style is that I like to motivate through positive reinforcement, and I also like to facilitate action, which means, like I said, putting people in the right position. When you constantly put down people or make them feel negatively, they're not going to do the job for you. Once you understand the people that you're working with, you can understand what's okay. Maybe you could be a little harsher with them to get the point across, but constant negative comments, feelings never work. So the most important thing is to always stay positive.
Great. Do you have any questions for me?
What is the next step in the process?
Well, I have a few other interviews to conduct. After I conduct this first round of interviews, I will call you and let you know, and we'll probably set up a second interview. After the second interview, it will probably be a couple of days, and we'll make our decision.
Also, I did talk about furthering my education. I know that your company does offer some tuition reimbursement. Does it have to be at a specific school or a specific program?
No, it does not. Our company, the reimbursement, it just entitles you to have to first stay a year, and then they start reimbursing you for your education.
Excellent. One last question. What is a normal day for an administrator in my capacity?
A normal day for administrator in your capacity is that they would show up around 8:39. Your office would vary depending on the different administrators would have early and late nights. There will be probably once a month where you'll be expected to stay later, so you'll come in later. You would meet with students in the beginning as walk-in hours, and then later have scheduled appointments. As well, you'll have times throughout the week that you'll have administration time where you can focus on work that you need to get done, where it's scheduled, and you can't be interrupted with a student coming in. So that would be pretty much a typical day. Feel free to speak with the secretaries outside. They can also explain maybe what a typical day is like for the office.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. I look forward to talking.
Remember, always wear a conservative tie, bring extra copies of your resume, greet the person with a firm handshake with 2 humps, and refrain from wearing cologne.